everyone, and welcome to this week's video. Today we will be covering word classes, and word classes are a part of our morphology and lexicology part of the study design. So if you want to have a look at the study design in relation to this week's topic, have a look under morphology and lexicology and you'll find all of the word classes listed out there. So let's get into it. We will start with nouns. Now, just so you can be aware, in all of the videos that I have organized for this week, I have put the name of the word class on the left, and then in brackets the little symbol that we would use to, well, letter that we would use to refer to that word class. So sometimes these word classes are referred to in shorthand, and that's what's on the right hand side. So a noun is a person, place, thing, or quality. We have 4 different types of nouns that I want you to be aware of. Just know that you don't need to necessarily memorize these 4. They're not in the study design as things you need to memorize, but the term noun is definitely in the study design that you do need to know. These 4 subtypes are just things that can be useful to when you're describing your nouns, because it gives extra information. It shows the examiners that you really know what you're talking about, that you know what type of noun you are referring to. So first we have common nouns. There are concrete nouns, which can be known through the senses. So things like book, table, or chicken. You can see all 3 of those. You can touch all 3 of those. Abstract nouns are concepts that cannot be known through the senses. So things like love, peace, honesty, really these concepts. And these are both types of common nouns. Then we have proper nouns. And the definition of a proper noun is a noun that can be capitalized, such as names of people or places. So here we've got Sarah, George, Melbourne, the Australian Ballet. So names of people, names of places, names of organisations like the Australian Ballet. That is a proper noun. Collective nouns are names for groups of animals, people, and things. So a herd would be a group of animals. Family would be a group of related people. Or even the word people is a group of humans. These are all examples of collective nouns. Plural nouns are nouns denoting more than one in quality. So just like you have singular and plural nouns, you have singular and plural, just words in general. We have singular and plural nouns. So we have regular plural nouns, which is the most common form. We know that it's a regular plural noun because it has an S on the end or an ES. So elephants, monkeys, atlases. It goes from elephant, one elephant, to elephants, multiple elephants. Monkey to monkeys. So we're going from one to multiple. And then down the bottom, irregular plural nouns, which is the least common form. We're going from child to children, ox to oxen, foot to feet. So these ones are just structured in a way that is not as common. So it doesn't have the S or ES added to it in order for it to be a plural noun. It's just, the form is slightly different. So these are the different types of nouns. But the main thing I want you to take away from this slide is a noun is a person, place, thing, or quality. Let's head over to the next slide. Verbs. A verb is a doing word, put very simply. So we have walk, swim, or think. These are doing words. Now we have a subtype of verb, which is called an auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verbs are verbs that modify and change an aspect of a main verb. They're used to create tense, negatives, and questions. The main auxiliaries include to be, to have, and to do, and the modal verbs, which we'll talk about in a minute. For example, I was dancing, has been swimming, do not like eggs. So they are modifying the main verb. So here, was is modifying the main verb dancing. Has been is modifying the main verb swimming. I do not like eggs. Do is modifying the main verb like. Then we have modal verbs. So modal verbs are a type of auxiliary, and they are can, could, shall, should, will, would, and may, might, must. If you can memorize these modal verbs, that would be really good. just rattle them off. Tell yourself can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, might, must. Repeat it until you can remember that those are your modal verbs, because that is language that you can use in your ACs, which would be really good. And yeah, they're just ones that you should know off the top of your head. That is verbs. Okay, I would like to give you a little quiz just on verbs, because this is a bit tricky. If you need to pause the video and go back and have a look at the previous slide, that would be a good idea. But the question is, in the following examples, is do a main verb or an auxiliary verb? Now, the hint is when identifying word classes, it's important to consider the placement of the lexeme, not just the lexeme in isolation. So, the first one, now's the time to pause the video and answer the question, and then come back when you're ready. The first example, I do homework on the weekends. Do is an action, therefore it's a main verb. The second one, I do not like homework, is the do in this example is an auxiliary verb, because do is changing the main verb like to the negative. So we have here is main verb, here is main verb in these two examples. And then in the second example, do is an auxiliary because it's changing that main verb. So that's the answer for this one. So just important to note that the verb do is not inherently a main verb or an auxiliary verb. The do is the do changes whether it's a main verb or an auxiliary verb based on the sentence that it's in and the other words that are surrounding it. So keep that in mind. Next, we have adjectives. So an adjective provides extra information about a noun. So they could be information about qualities, size, judgments, or degrees of comparison. And there's some examples on here. Purple, spiky, huge, tiny, rude, unhappy, slower, narrowest, and wider. Adverbs modify verbs. So in this example at the top, we have walking, which is a main verb, and slowly, which is the adverb. Dancing, main verb, joyfully, adverb. An adverb can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. So for example here, modifying an adjective, really tired. Really is the adverb and tired is the adjective. Modifying an adverb, very slowly. Very is the adverb, slowly is also an adverb. So an adverb mostly modifies verbs, but it can also modify adjectives and other adverbs. Often adverbs end in the suffix ly, but not always. If you're looking for an adverb, like if a short answer question asks you to identify an adverb, the easiest place to look first is for some words ending in ly. Just scan through your text for that because they are usually adverbs. And then the second way to look for them is something that modifies a verb or modifies other parts of speech. And another little trick, if a lexeme can be moved around, it is likely to be an adverb. So just looking down here, the students walked unenthusiastically to class. Students unenthusiastically walked to class. Unenthusiastically, the students walked to class. So you can see here that the lexeme unenthusiastically can be moved to 3 different positions in the sentence and it still makes sense. So this is likely to be an adverb. So that's just a little trick for identifying adverbs. Prepositions. So prepositions position things in space or time. They show the relationship between nouns or pronouns and other words in a sentence. So our examples are over, under, in, before, and after. These are positioning things in space or time. Over the hedge, under the table, in the supermarket, before school, after football practice. Pronouns are lexemes that replace nouns. So the examples we've got here include I, we, they, you, she, he, it, me, us, them, mine, ours, theirs, that, who, this, that, these, and those. an easy way to remember pronouns is thinking about what pronouns a person might use to define their gender. So when someone introduces themselves, hi, I'm Maddie, I use she, her pronouns. It's a way of describing your gender or identity, and that can be an easy way for you to remember what a pronoun is as well. So these lexemes replace nouns. So instead of saying Maddie likes ice cream, you could say she likes ice cream, and the she is replacing the proper noun Maddie. And it's explaining that I like ice cream. Next slide. Conjunctions. So conjunctions are just lexemes that connect other lexemes together. We have two types of conjunctions. We have coordinating conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. Now, coordinating conjunctions link words, phrases, and clauses together, whereas subordinating conjunctions link only clauses together. The way that we remember coordinating conjunctions is through the acronym FANBOYS. FANBOYS you may have heard before in year 11, or it might be new to you. This is definitely something you should memorize. FANBOYS stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. So that's just this part here. I would encourage you to memorize FANBOYS. FANBOYS covers all the coordinating conjunctions. So everything on this line is coordinating conjunction, and there's no more coordinating conjunctions other than FANBOYS. Anything that doesn't fit within FANBOYS is a subordinating conjunction. So that's an easy way to remember it. FANBOYS or coordinating conjunctions links language that is equal in value. For example, the chocolate was sweet and smooth. This is also relevant when we come to talk about sentence structure, which will be in a syntax video later on. But yeah, so this is a really good foundation for syntax too. Subordinating conjunctions link only clauses together. Every other conjunction that isn't FANBOYS links a subordinate clause to a main clause. Again, clauses will be covered in syntax, so have a look at those videos as well. And some examples of subordinating conjunctions are because and although. So Lily ate strawberries because she was hungry. Rachel went to school although she was sick. And that is conjunctions. So just remember, conjunctions join words or phrases or clauses together. There's coordinating and subordinating. Coordinating is FANBOYS, subordinating is everything else. Determiners. Determiners introduce noun phrases. They function as modifiers, and some examples are articles, possessive adjectives, demonstratives, cardinals, and ordinals. So we have a and the, my, your, our, their, this, that, 1, 2, 3, first, second, third. So these are all examples of determiners. And lastly, interjections are lexemes that express strong emotions. So ouch, wow, sorry, damn, hello, yes, no, okay. These are all examples of interjections. Swear words, greetings, signaling words, exclamations. All right, we are up to our revision quiz. So I will read out the questions, give you an opportunity to pause, to write down your answers, and then come back to talk about what we've got. So first question is, what is the word class used to describe a group of people or animals? What is the word class used to describe a noun? Name two types of conjunctions and give an example of an interjection. So now is the time for you to pause the video and come back when you've got some answers. Alrighty, let's go through the answers. So the first one, what is the word class used to describe a group of people or animals? The answer you should have got was a collective noun. What is the word class used to describe a noun? The answer is adjective. So adjectives describe nouns. Name two types of conjunctions, coordinating and subordinating. Coordinating being our FANBOYS conjunction, subordinating being everything else. And give an example of an interjection. Just got a few there. Hi, sorry, yes, and damn. That is everything for our word classes video for this week. If you've got any questions, feel free to post it in the Facebook group and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All the best with the rest of your studies for this week, and we'll see you in next week's video. Bye.